Hi, it's the Irish Gypsy here to bring you your October 2017 mid-month general readings. Thank you so much for joining us here today, and welcome to any newcomers. Thank you always to those of you who continue to watch, listen, follow, and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Your support and feedback and comments are always welcome and very much appreciated. Keep them coming in. Thank you so very much. And a big thank you as well to those of you who keep me so very busy with personal one-on-one readings, and to my regular clients also. It's an honor and a pleasure always to read for you. Thank you. And if any of you are interested in a personal one-on-one reading with me and you haven't read with me before, or you have and you've forgotten the information, you can go to my YouTube channel's homepage, click on the About or Description button, and that'll give you a little more information on what I do and the services I offer and my contact information. I do a wide variety of readings for pretty much all life sectors, different varieties of spreads depending on what you want addressed. You can also find my contact information there. You can email me at Maggie1McGuire@gmail.com. I would be delighted to work with you. Turnaround time for scheduled personal readings is usually pretty fast. I do readings full-time, 5 to 6 days a week. It is what I do. So I can usually get back with you within the first day of initial contact, and we can usually schedule a reading for you within anywhere from a few days upwards of 3 weeks, but almost always within that period of time. So if you're interested, send me an email and we'll set something up for you as soon as possible. For those of you who are looking just for one or two quick, simple answers to quick, simple questions, you can find me on Instant Go, which is a great, it's a brilliant iPhone app, very easy to use. The app is free to download, and you can find me on Instant Go under Irish Gypsy. And I'll be posting a video a little later today on that app. It's a great new app. For Android users, be patient. You will be able to access this app by the beginning of the new year. But that's for just a short burst, just quick one or two answers or questions. And that's more immediate. I can usually get back to you in the same day, sometimes within the same hour. For those of you who want more in-depth personal readings or specific spreads or like the year overview or outlook, just email me and we'll set something up for you. So moving right along, remember these are general readings, and there's many of you watching, so of course they're not going to mean the same thing to everybody watching. They couldn't possibly. Some of you it may resonate in one area of your life, others of you it may resonate in another, which is always why we advise you check your rising and your moon sign if you know them and if you can. They may play out a little more predictively for you for some readings and some times of your life. And just by watching all three can give you additional insight and clarification. All right, so enough of that. Let's get right into this reading. This is for the air sign of Gemini for October 2017, mid-month. I know that some of you don't like the longer introductions and some of you don't mind. You can always fast forward to the reading itself. Okay, the air sign of Gemini are twins. Let us see what the last couple of weeks of October 2017 have in store for you. Gemini, the twins. Okay, Gemini, we begin with the Six of Cups, followed by the Queen of Cups. And we have the Five of Swords, followed by the Three of Swords. Sorry, the Ten of Swords. And from the bottom of the deck for overall energy and guidance, we have the Lovers. Interesting reading. Let me just take a look, Gemini. So this can go a variety of different ways, and like I always say, because there's so many of you watching, it may resonate in one area of your life, for others it may resonate in another to different degrees and intensity. But regardless of how the details and specifics of it play out, the energy fundamentally remains the same. Some of you, I think for a lot of you, I'm feeling more of relationship energy around this. It could be a love romance relationship energy. It could be a different type of relationship, friendship, family dynamics. Some of you, this may be a work situation or a situation where you're involved with a group of people even, I'm getting, and there's been some kind of discord or conflict. Some of you, it's a very positive relationship that's giving you a healing aspect on your relationship history, maybe overcoming some pain from the past. So it really kind of depends on which Gemini you are and how it resonates. So we find ourselves around the middle of October 2017, time being somewhat fluid, of course, with the Six of Cups, followed by the Queen of Cups. So Cups is water energy. That's the element which governs this suit. So the energy of the suit of Cups reflects typically in that watery, fluid, mercurial world of our feelings, emotions, and relationships. The Six of Cups is often a card associated with the past. It can be the long ago past, childhood, reminiscence, nostalgia. Looking back on a more carefree time sometimes can represent being more childlike or looking at things with a more innocent view without the cares and worries and burdens that you carry today. It can sometimes also represent being very open, loving, and giving as children often are, giving to others. Now, it's accompanied by the Queen of Cups, which would represent could represent a water sign person who's going to be significant in your life, if not already over the next, but definitely over the last half of October 2017. Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio, Sun, Moon, or Rising showing up as a queen, but could be a male as well, because this is a general reading, so it can't be all that gender specific. And even in personal one-on-one readings, if I was reading for a male, the Queen of Cups could show up as a more feminine aspect of a male client in regards to the situation that we're looking at. So it's not always so cut and dried in terms of gender. Queens and Kings represent individuals who've reached the mastery of their suits. They're at the top of their game and manifesting. They found a balance in the inherent character traits of their suit or their sign. So this is water. So the Queen of Cups would be somebody who's probably quite loving, nurturing, giving, somebody who's also very grounded and stable in their emotions, somebody who always knows the right thing to say, great source of love and emotional support and feedback, good friend, great mom, great wife. So for some of you, I'm getting some radically different stories here. Okay, so for some of you, someone from your past, this represents. So for some of you, this is going to, sorry, I'm trying to sort out what's coming in at the time and trying not to make it sound too confusing. Some of you, you're going to be dealing with someone from your past, someone that you were involved in a relationship with. And again, it doesn't necessarily mean relationships come in all different shapes and sizes. So it could be a romantic relationship, somebody that you were involved with before. This could be a friendship. It could even be, because I'm getting a little bit of a maternal energy, which I often do off with Queen of Cups. She's also kind of the quintessential female, soft, feminine, sensual. This could be somebody that you've been involved with before, coming back from the past. Some of you may be dealing with an issue around your mother. It could be something to do with your mother that you're dealing with over the last half of October. Because I feel like for a lot of you, this is ongoing or something has occurred recently, so the energy is still fresh, but it's kind of the focus for the last half of October. So for some of you, you're dealing with someone who's from the past or connected with your childhood. Some of you, this is going to be a relationship or someone that you've been with for quite some time. So on the love and romance side, either somebody coming back from the past or somebody that you've been with for quite a while. You have a lot of decision-making energy over the last half of October. And it's in regards to whether or not you want to continue in a relationship with this person because of some negative or challenging feelings or betrayals maybe from this person or around this person, whether they've betrayed you or you've betrayed them. although I think for the majority of you, it's you that feels like you were, betrayed or kind of, sidelined really suddenly from them. And the betrayal could come in all different kinds of form. It could have been cheating or infidelity or some other kind of, unexpected kind of getting hit from behind, blindsided, so to speak. It could be somebody that you've been with for quite some time, and something has happened and you're trying to figure out, you're trying to make a decision, is this worth continuing to invest in, to try and get through this, to overcome this? For some of you, this is someone that you had this happen with. There was a separation or a breakup of some kind. They've come back, and again, it's the same decision-making energy. Is this worth kind of reinvesting in, or reconciliation energy? This could be, again, in love and romance, what I'm getting for a lot of you, again, male or female. For some of you, this could be a close connected friendship, same circumstances. And for some of you, it could be issues around your mom. Perhaps there was a big falling out with your mom or a mother figure, or even an older aunt, something like that. I'm getting this familial, somewhat maternal energy off of that. And again, it's, how do I deal with this moving forward? Is this worth investing my time? Can we find a way to kind of proceed forward together? Because next to that, around the last week or so of October, we have the Five of Swords, followed by the Ten of Swords. So swords, stick with me here, because there's a couple different stories I still have to bring in with this. So swords is air energy. That's the element which governs this suit. An interesting, rather complex reading, Gemini. So it's a mental, cerebral, intellectual energy, this air energy. And the suit of swords is, that energy usually manifests, it pertains to what goes on up in our heads, how we think, how we look at things, our belief systems, our outlooks, perceptions, our words and our ideas, and how those belief systems and ideas affect the way that we communicate. Swords is also about higher education, learning, insight, clarity, wisdom, truth, things that go on up in here. Tens represent the ends of cycles, something cycling to an end, needing to cycle to an end, coming to a closure, a completion point, or a milestone point where you transition into something else. So the Ten of Swords, sometimes called the stabbed in the back card, because often how the artwork of it's portrayed in different tarot decks. But the positive aspect of the Ten of Swords is that the worst is behind you. It may have been really bad or challenging or painful, but whatever put this man face down on the ground, it's over. The worst is behind you. There's a healing light now shining through these swords. A new day is dawning. The sun is coming up. The animals are beginning to return to the sword. It's time to stand up, dust yourself off, and begin to heal and move through and away from this, taking what lessons and value you can. So it does imply a sense of betrayal, and that betrayal again could be a lot of different forms. It could be in love and romance. It could have been infidelity or cheating, financial aspects. It can represent, feeling blindsided, even in job, work, and career, maybe getting fired unexpectedly or downsized, company goes out of business, or perhaps you get passed up for a promotion or something that you were really sure you were going to get. Again, the specifics are going to vary depending on who's watching, but the energy fundamentally remains the same. There's a sense of, of unexpected hurt, pain, betrayal, disappointment, and it's paired with but it's behind you. It's at an end, and it's accompanied by the Five of Swords, which is technically a card of victory. But what kind of victory it is kind of depends on, the other cards, how it resonates in your life. You can tell that this man has just finished a battle, a challenge of some kind, and he's won. He's obviously the victor. He's gathered up all his opponent's swords, and he's holding his own aloft in victory. But it's been a hard-won victory. He doesn't look particularly victorious. He's tired, worn out, exhausted. He's bleeding from a little cut on his forehead. This is a battle which has cost a lot. And the question which usually accompanies the Five of Swords is something worth it? Sometimes the answer is going to be yes, sometimes it's going to be no, and sometimes this card asks us to take a look at what we're trying to do to be right, to come out ahead, to be the victor, to win. Sometimes it represents a hard-won victory that was well worth the battle, but sometimes it can represent Whether you're maybe in the right or not, the people on the ground behind him can sometimes represent winning, but at the cost of personal relationships in your life, or significant conflict in relationships in your life. Sometimes I've seen this card come up in business and career readings when someone's so ambitious and so driven to get ahead that they step on other people and ruin friendships and relationships by doing that. So it can ask you to examine how important is winning to you. Is it worth what it's going to cost, or has winning a battle been worth what it's cost? Because it may cost you personal relationships. So this is where it's going to play out differently depending on what's going on in your life for those Geminis watching for other Geminis. Again, some of you're dealing with a relationship issue, trying to make a major decision, which is your overall energy in the Lovers, about a relationship. This could be somebody that you've been with for a long time, potentially a water sign, Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio. There's been some kind of sense of betrayal, hurt, serious disappointment of some kind. The specifics are going to vary. Do you stay together? Do you continue to invest in this relationship? Can you get through this? Is it worth it? For some of you, this is a relationship that was already had some separation or breakup. You took some time off, or you just broke up, and it's coming back together again and again. Is it worth reconciling? Can we make it through this? Some of you, this may be a different, and some of you, for this relationship too, this can be love and romance, a familial relationship, a really close friendship, that went astray or broke up somehow. Again, is it worth going into? For a smaller portion of you, you're actually in a relationship or in a situation where you're getting flack or conflict or negative verbal chatter or feedback or gossiping or some kind of exterior conflict within a group of people. This could be at work, could even be at church, or maybe on a project. But your sense of who you are and your belief in what you know to be true and right for yourself is so strong that it allows you to still kind of move through this. I'm not exactly sure what that means, but somebody out there must need to hear it. Some of you may be in a relationship that's helping you kind of overcome some betrayal and hurt from the past and renewing a sense of almost childlike hope and faith in love again. Some of you are in a relationship that's going through a reconciliation process or a healing, conciliatory, maybe a therapeutic process, and you guys are successfully moving through this. It's been difficult, and it is difficult, but especially with this, it looks like at the end of the month, however the details of this are playing out in your lives, you are successfully overcoming this sense of hurt or betrayal or rejection or deep disappointment. Or if you're wondering if it's worth it, it actually does feel like it's worth putting the energy into, or you may want to seriously take a look at it being worth investing in, because it looks like there's some kind of weight behind it, some kind of length of time or history. Again, we live in a free will zone. If this is truly an unhealthy situation or relationship, you have to do what's best for you. But it does look like for a lot of you, there's a lot of potential to overcome whatever this rockiness or separation has been. But it looks like that's the energy focused around the last half of October. It'll be interesting to see what the specific feedback is, because I'm getting a variety of different scenarios here. Your overall energy and guidance is the Lovers, which can speak of a karmic, cosmic, kindred spirit, soulmate sort of connection. Very passionate though, very heated. And again, it doesn't necessarily have to be love and romance. This could be just a very connective relationship or an extremely important situation, maybe a long-term job or career path or project even of some kind, something that you feel very strongly about. The Lovers also represents needing to make a decision that could potentially affect not just yourself, but someone or other people that you're in close relationships to. In the early tarot decks, this was not called the Lovers, it was called the choice. And it showed a man standing in front of two women, the implication being that a decision had to be made, a significant decision, relationship or otherwise, but that decision was going to have an impact on a significant relationship or situation or group of significant relationships. So be interesting to see how this plays out for you, Gemini. Not at all a bad reading at all. And for some of you, you're actually in a situation or relationship of some kind that's, fostering a sense of hope and belief, or it's that childlike sense of belief and hope and purity and what's good and right and true, particularly for yourself, that's kind of moving you through whatever the situation or relationship is, be it, a personal relationship or, a work or job situation, because I'm getting a little bit of that for some of you as well. So Gemini, that pretty much wraps up your October 2017 mid-month readings. I hope it wasn't too confusing. I hope that it brought at least somebody some insight and clarity or some food for thought. Again, if any of you are interested in a personal one-on-one reading with me, you can go to my YouTube channel's homepage, click on the About or Description button for more information and my contact information, which is Maggie1McGuire@gmail.com. I would be most happy to work with you. For a shorter, more instant response to shorter questions, 1 or 2 questions, you can find me on the Instant Go app under Irish Gypsy. I will see you all again, Gemini, in a couple of weeks for the November general readings. And until then, as always, I wish you joy, peace, blessings, and a happy life. And I hope to see you back here again soon. Take care. Bye-bye.